Good morning. So this is the first video for today. There's a second video that's on Edpuzzle where you're going to watch the Brian Stevenson TED Talk, and you're going to fill out some questions with that in the Edpuzzle. But the first part of what we're going to go over today is rhetorical analysis. So I have your final assessments done for Unit 1, and so take a minute to review your results, look over the comments that I have made, and then I'm going to kind of talk through a few of the mistakes that I saw overall. So the first thing that I saw were a lot of people not really taking into account the rhetorical situation of the Florence Kelly speech and thinking about why did she choose these particular examples for this particular audience. So one thing that you might have noted if you were thinking about that is the fact that she focuses on little girls. There are little girls and little boys who are working in these factories, but her primary focus is girls, and that's probably because she's speaking to a group of women. She's also probably speaking to a group of middle to upper class women, and so by listing so many different kinds of products that these little girls are making in these factories, she's sure to make every person in the audience feel culpable in some way for the evil of child labor. And so there were different things that she does throughout to really focus in on this specific audience. And I think also she's keeping in mind the time period and also just the place where she's speaking. You might have noticed that she's speaking in Philadelphia, but she brings up child labor laws in lots of different states. So if these women are from different places, then they would understand that it's not just a specific region's problem. And also they will understand that it's not just the South's problem, because a lot of the states that she mentions are Southern states, but then she goes ahead and mentions other states that are in the North. And so the people there, if they're thinking, oh, this is a regional Southern problem, they would realize that that's not actually true. So I think keeping in mind rhetorical analysis, you have to understand the purpose and you've got to connect your commentary back to that. And you need to be considering the rhetorical situation. Those were really the things that I noticed in the analysis that I read. You need to go into Google Classroom and fill out the essay tracker that I've posted. The essay tracker will stay open all year and you don't need to turn it in. You just need to fill it out every time that we're doing something, especially something test prep related like this Florence Kelly passage. Next week, we will be writing a full rhetorical analysis. So if you still have remaining questions about that, then feel free to come on to the Zoom on Friday from 11:30 to 12:30 to ask me any questions that you might have. So the next thing I want you to do with rhetorical analysis is to look at the high scoring sample, and you can actually look at all the samples if you would like of the Florence Kelly prompt. And I want you to think about what the strengths and weaknesses of each of those released items is. And then if you go to the very end of the packet, you'll see the scoring for this and you'll see the explanations. Now, the scoring for it is different than the 1 to 6 that we're currently using because the College Board changed our scoring model to a 1 to 6 model in the last couple of years. But just know that if something's getting an 8 or a 9, that's really good in the old scoring model. If something's getting like a 5 or a 6, that's kind of a medium scoring essay, so an average essay. And then if something's getting like a 2 or a 3, then that would have been a low scoring essay in the old scoring model. The way that we're scoring things now, when you look at your results, I would say that as a total score, you want to be shooting for 4 and up, so a 4, 5, or 6. And I think the most common thing that I saw in scoring were people who were right there at that 3 out of 6, probably because they had a 2 on row B. And I think that the 2 on row B comes from not connecting to purpose, not connecting to rhetorical situation. And so if you work on that, then I think that it would be not that hard really to bump your score up. So look at those samples before moving on to the Edpuzzle video so that you get an understanding of what's strong and what's weak about these different samples. Have a good day and let me know if you have any questions.